More on discussion. Hari, you can know the things later. A very good afternoon, one and all. The post-lunch session is always challenging, and yeah, it is very difficult for the speaker to make the brain stay connected. And we open up the afternoon session to the national conference. And today's afternoon speaker is Murugananda. He is a doctorate in pharmacy. He is the founder of Mayapaya Herbal Research Institute of Bangalore, Karnataka. Hi Murugananda, how are you? Hi, how are you?
Should I start the presentation?
To inform, Murugananda is my junior and the classmate of Bharati.
Everyone, on
So actually so happy to stay connected with all the entrepreneurs once we were all together. And it's again a good point of contact to get them experience being shared in the same platform. So whether you all, I can answer the session to Bharati to take it forward.
It's my privilege to introduce about our next speaker, Dr. M. Murugananda, who was a doctorate in pharmaceutical sciences and has over 16 years of experience in principal plant research, international regulatory affairs, and business development in the health and nutraceutical sectors. He has an extensive expertise in evaluating health and nutraceutical ingredients for safety, quality, efficacy, and regulatory compliance across major global markets, including the leaders Korea to MHRI. He served as technical manager, natural remedies private limited, where he contributed to research and development, successfully supported GRAS approvals for herbal ingredients and handled international regulatory requirements across the US, Europe, Australia, and Asia. As a founder of the Herbal Research Institute, Dr. Murugananda has been offering scientific and regulatory consulting services since February 2020. Services currently offered include master training, GRAS consultation, healthcare assessment, clinical trial protocol development, regulatory compliance support, and product development. Dr. Murugananda has authored multiple peer-reviewed scientific publications chapters. Now I welcome Murugananda sir to start the presentation.
Can you all able to see the presentation? And what we will do, if there are any issues, we will just in the chat. Right? So that's for the opportunity to present on this topic, how to build and business for the products from pitch to market. Here we see what is needed for products, what is the need for building scientific evidence, what it needs by scientific evidence, and what are the evidences required, how to build them, and the applications of the scientific evidence. These are the topics that we will be going through in this presentation. First, there is different herbal products. Herbal means plants with medicinal properties. So it is different from the botanical definition. Normally, herb means a small plant, shrub means medium size, and tree means big plant like that. But in herbal herbal means plants with medicinal properties. And herbal products means the final consumable form, that is tablets, capsules, and other herbal finished formulations produced using herbal components as a major component. And these herbal products may also contain other non-herbal components as excipients. So it is not a 100% all herbal, so many non-herbal components also present. So with this definitions in mind, I will move to the other parts of the presentation. Like when we say about herbal raw materials, the herbal raw materials may be from the plant plant, like you can say Cocoa whole plant or Tulsi whole plant like this, or it can also be from specific parts of the plant like roots. If you take ashwagandha or Redamus vinifera, the plant part used is roots, and if you take ginger, the plant part used is rhizomes, and if you take turmeric, also the plant part used is rhizomes. So like that, different plant parts are made into single powder and directly formulated into capsules, tablets by adding excipients, or extracts or oils are prepared from the raw materials and then they are also used in the formulations. So these are all collectively called as herbal raw materials. These herbal raw materials may be standardized or non-standardized. Standardized means with respect to a particular biology active constants. For example, if you take Vidania sumitra, vitaminos are the known to have the biology activity responsible for the antistress adaptation property of the Vidania sumitra. So the raw material of Vidania sumitra is standardized to vitaminos. So like this, that is called standardization. So whether standardized herbal raw materials are used or non-standardized extracts or simple powders, oils, resins, these can also be used as herbal raw materials. The formulations, the final finished formulations which are produced using the raw materials are shown here. You can see that capsules, tablets, herbal liquids, and tea and herbal powders also. So these are solid oral dosage forms, and there are also topical preparations like creams and paste. So these are the products came out of the using the herbal raw materials. Now we will see like why do we need scientific evidence? Why we need to build the scientific evidence? See, in olden days, many people have experienced that who have visited the Ayurveda, Siddha practitioner or traditional leaders. those doctors, traditional Ayurvedic physician or Siddha physician, they themselves go to the field, collect the raw material, identify the raw material, and then they prepare the medicines, they diagnose the disease of the patients, and then prescribe the medicines with specific precautions, like don't take coconut or don't take oil while during this intake of medicines. Like that specific precautions, individualized treatments were given in olden days. So the complete responsibility was lying in the physician, and people also firmly believe in the traditional healers. So the reason the system was built was because the scale was small. But in today's scenario, it is not like that. The doctors are restricted, or rather, I would say they are more only diagnosing and prescribing the products. The products are prepared by other manufacturers, and manufacturers themselves not like raw materials by themselves. Their raw materials are provided by other group of people. So the whole work is divided, and responsibility is divided, thereby accountability is also divided. When these kind of activities are done at by different groups of people, the standardization or following the process is required. And when you follow the process, you need to have report or record of whatever the activities carried out, so that everyone knows like what was carried out prior to the product formulation and prior to doing the applications, everything. So the whole process today is followed in this way, and the reason why it is being followed is the scale. Many people are with population is increasing, and one person cannot take responsibility for all the processes, and it is done at a very high large scale. So customized people are required, and they need to follow the process, and they need to develop evidence for each and every step they are doing. So that is the reason we need a documented evidence for every process. Now, so this is basically a summary of what we have seen so far. The documented evidence also is required by the regulatory agencies like US FDA, European Medicine Agency, and all these. So they need scientific data. Without scientific data regarding the efficacy, safety, and product manufacturing, they will not be able to approve the product, and the product cannot be marketed. So this is the current scenario, and for this we need scientific data. Now, when I say scientific evidence, what is mean by that? So scientific evidence means we all know, but to put this in a clear perspective, scientific evidence, normally people will think that evidence for clinical means efficacy, like whether the product works or doesn't work. That's what they will say. But scientific evidence is a collective proof that how the product was produced, what are the processes carried out during the selection of raw material and quality identification and qualification of raw material, and whether it controls that during the manufacturing process, how the product final quality is assessed, and each and every step scientific documents are generated. Evidences are created. So collectively all these are called as scientific evidence, and these evidence help to improve the products and also troubleshoot if any problems arise. Now what are those scientific evidences? We will start from the raw material stage. Like many of you maybe aware that whoever is working on the medicinal plants research. Okay. You first start with authentication of the botanical raw material. Then you will check the quality and suitability for the product formulations. And then how it is manufactured, process and rules. And then whether it is effective and safe. So these are all the process steps you can say. And all these steps we need to develop the evidence. Whether the if you say you are using osmotic sample, okay, Tulsi Ramiri, whether it is really Tulsi, osmotic sample or some other species are passing inside. Okay, and whether the quality is suitable for the product to use in manufacture, like capsule formulation or tablet formulation like this. So, all these stages we are doing. Why we are doing all these things? Basically, the outcome is to arrive at the applications of how much dose to be used, how long the product needs to be used, and who can use this product, and what are the features, and the data generated from this can be used for getting licenses and approval for marketing. So now we have seen what are the certificates like authentication, quality and security, then manufacturing process and controls, and also safety education, and how they are used. Now, how to build these certificates? The first step, as we said, the foundation for all is authentication of the botanical raw material. Like we are doing research in EM form and also in B form and in PhDs. Like after doing lots of research on a particular plant material and the examiner says, I wanted to check the authenticity of the raw material. We have authentication certificate or material. And once you show that there is a issue there, the plant was not properly authenticated, the whole time we spent on the project will become our effort energy will become what we see like maybe the good or little waste or useless. Okay, so the first step is to do authentication of the botanical raw material by macroscopic evaluation, by looking at the leaves or bark, shape, size, shape, color, and how the fractures, then microscopic evaluation, then test for the active constituents or moisture content, extractive value, what is the water soluble extractive value, what is the alpha soluble extractive value, whether these are in alignment with the pharmacopoeial limits, like the extended chemical sensitivity, higher pharmaceutical chemotherapy, if required, yes, famous, or GC, if there are none for water oils like this. And DNA based authentication. There are some species where it is very difficult to identify between different species. So in those cases, DNA based authentication is required. Where like most of the time, people get raw materials in powder form. Okay, in powder form, macroscopic evaluation is very difficult, and microscopic may not always confirm that this is the exact powder. So the DNA authentication is required, and chemistry also is required, chemical identification. So when the collectively, only we will be able to say that the product, the plant material which is used, or which we wanted to use, is specific plant or conforming plant. That way it will be useful. And it also helps us to keep a record of like I have collected this particular tulsi material from this location. So and that means this is of good quality. Like that it will be useful for tracing. Okay, I got good quality material from this region and very less quality material from this region. So in future we need to go for higher levels, large quantity of materials. I will be able to go and collect the same place where I got good quality. Then photographic documentation type base. So basically the good authenticated raw material is the foundation for herbal products. Okay. And there are some other questions occurring in the commercially sold medicinal plants, and details of the other questions are from the publications are extracted and presented in a website mediacorp.com practice. People who are interested in knowing about what are the methods used in different commercially used botanics, they can visit this website to know about the other methods. So here I am giving the case. It is an example to show that why botanical authentication is very important. Around the 1990s, 1990 somewhere during the year in Belgium, herbal swimming formulation was given to patients in clinic by a doctor. And those patients who clinic formulation got affected, this kidneys got affected, and some of them require dialysis and even kidney transplantation. So such a serious effects has happened. Then they investigated the product and they found that this particular plant called Anastasioscia anchae was used instead of Stephania tetrandra. Actual plant that used to be used was this Stephania tetrandra, but people instead of this particular plant they use Anastasioscia anchae. So this is basically the misidentified Anastasioscia anchae as Stephania tetrandra, and that resulted in the inclusion of Anastasioscia species into the herbal formulation, and that has caused the kidney disease, or I would say damage, kidney damage. So the reason is Anastasioscia anchae contains a nephropathic anastasic acids. So this shows the importance of confirming the botanical raw material for the finished product formulation or before manufacturing. They call it as raw material approval. During the raw material approval process, the botanical application is the first step that needs to be carried out. Otherwise, they may lead to serious consequences. So next, moving on to quality and suitability. When it comes to quality, it is about whether the material is clean, like how much it has been used, whether millimeters or milliliters, and the student reviews are absent or milliliters, then microbial load, like all these things. Even if the quality is good, it may not be suitable for the formulation. Let's see that the example in the coming slide. So suitability, I mean the diet constants may be less, or effective value may be less, and particle size, for example, you have some in commercial ginger powders, the ginger water extracted value may be very less, like this. So that means the constants will not be presented. Although we follow means it will qualify with respect to quality, but it will not be suitable with respect to the right constants, extractive values, particle size, bulk density, and likewise. So both quality and suitability is essential, and when it was special for quality you develop evidence. Okay, so those documental evidences, scientific evidences are forming part of the product documentation, and that will be used in the further products and also for publicity. So quality basically ensures safety and suitability ensures fit for the formulation. For example, you can see here that ashwagandha is powder for capsule formulation. The quality is possible, but when it is expect possibility, particles are very coarse and bulk density is low. So the flow property was poor and dietary constants are also lower than required. So the suitability is failing. Because the suitability is extreme, then we may end up with some other issues. So both are required. The next thing is manufacturing process and controls. Here also we need to develop the evidences. First thing is, before starting the manufacturing, you have to describe the manufacturing process, how it will be manufactured, what are the excipients will be used and at what levels, and how this pharma is arrived optimizing the manufacturing pharma. Like we know design of experiments, like the many things are there, or practical like that. Basically, how the process is developed. Because when you do the development, you will also come to know what are the critical process parameters, like temperature critical parameters, or mixing time, or what is there critical parameters, or in-process testing needs to be done, what are the 1D attributes. So these are all the process controls you will have to come out. You will have to develop a record all those things and keep a documentation of that. Then finally validity. Well, now we have the manufacturing process development, and then you also have legal control parameters and quality attributes. Now we need to validate. How do you validate? You need to produce the product, three batches of products using the defined manufacturing process. Design manufacturing process by controlling process parameters and quality attributes. Then you will see whether the products applied are consistent from batch to batch. So that's what product process validation. That means you are validating the process. The process is suitable for manufacturing this particular product, consistent quality from batch to batch. So all the documents that are generated during this process will act as a scientific evidence for this part of the stage. For example, you see this is a custom manufacturing process. You take raw material, you do the size selection, then mixing, excipient addition, then capsule filling, then polishing and using this product and packaging it. So there are some examples of the documents or the document that manufacturing record in process checks. Like what in process checks we use that have content uniformity there in the mixture and the weight variation, content and precipitation, stability data, all of these we have. For example, things may go wrong if you want to properly document or develop the records. For example, this herbal capsule was said to contain 100 mg of extract per capsule. Okay, acceptable weight is 50%. That is, it can range from 80 mg to 115 mg per capsule. But actually, when analyzed, the results were many capsules contain more than 50%. Okay, so this is unacceptable. So the batch is failed. Okay, so what would be the reason? The reason is inadequate mixing time. They found that the mixing time used is not adequate, and there are also no in-process sampling. Before filling into the capsule, you are not check the mixture whether they are mixed properly and the content is uniformly distributed or not. So because of this, investigator this process failure, the product also will be failed. So this shows the importance of documentation of developing the evidence or identifying legal control parameters in process test in the manufacturing process. Now we are seeing authentication, the quality and suitability of the raw material, all the raw materials, including raw material for the products, and then manufacturing process and its control. Now finally move on to the safety and efficacy of the herbal products. Okay, when it comes to building the evidence of safety, first thing we have to see is existing knowledge. What is available currently on this particular ingredient or ingredient formula or the whole product? Basically, traditional or scientific research and published scientific information. Then, after having gone through all the information which is already available and after doing that, if required, depending upon the need, different safety studies can be done based on study OECD criteria, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. They have developed their intergovernmental organization and they developed the guidelines for safety studies and also clinical studies. But here we are asking for safety studies. So some of the safety studies, active toxicity, genotoxicity, and subchlorine toxicity and general safety studies. These studies should be done depending upon the need. Not all ingredients may be all the safety studies. Depends upon the existing events and depends upon how the ingredients will be utilized in the formulation and for what purpose. So accordingly, the studies will be designed and conducted. Then there are required clinical safety studies, and you may also need to collect some evidences from the real world, like already the product is in the market. Okay. as adversaries being recruited for the products containing Bacopa, or adversaries have been recruited for the product containing Vidania, like that. Say earlier we have seen Japanese meat formulation, kidney patients, with patients got kidney damage. So it was found that the plant material was changed. So improper application that has resulted. So like that we learn that is okay. This particular plant if we take, there is a possibility of authentication going on. So we need to take care of that. So such evidences we are going to know when we analyze the real world evidences, like adversaries reported in the various regulatory portals, normal portals. Okay. So these are the existing evidence and the experimental studies. We will have to add real world evidence. We will have to add the safety information and will be safety documentation. Okay, now we have I have found the product is safe. Now, whether it is effective for the intended purpose or not. For the same way that we have gone for the safety, we will start with the traditional things and existing evidences. Okay, Ashwagandha is an adaptation. It's a well-known adaptation traditionally used in Ayurveda. Okay, are there any published literature available? Yes, lots of published literature available. Why we see that we understand everything. Then, what is the indication for which we wanted to use Ashwagandha? The further indication, for example, if you want to use Ashwagandha for diabetes, we can check whether traditionally it is used for diabetes or not. Okay, and whether any published information is available or not. Then whether published information or traditional use is suitable for our utility or not, or product. If it is not, then we will go to preclinical studies, studies in animals or developing animals like biochemical test, RCS, test, cell level studies like this. And then after developing this, after understanding the efficacy at a preclinical level, we can go into clinical studies, human studies. This is the final evidence with which you can confirm basically or say yes, this product is likely to work in humans. Then this is a preliminary evidence. Then final confirmation is happening with the higher level gold standard that is called RCTs, randomized controlled trials. In randomized controlled trials, again, double blind randomized trials, placebo controlled or active controlled, parallel, crossover, whether different types are there. Depending upon the ingredient and depending upon the condition studied, the product's nature will be given. But there is a validation level of evidence. So this is how scientific evidence for efficacy is built, and these documents will be useful for submission to regulatory authorities and also to arrive at the real world applications, right? Without the safety and efficacy evidence, or without knowing what chemicals, whether authenticated or not, or knowing the production process, we cannot arrive at the dosage or duration of use, and we cannot say how the product is being used by the consumers like this. So, basically, those forms the foundation for variability, which is useful for regulatory transmission evidence, even for consumer education in action. So, we have the scientific evidence is built right from the beginning of the molecule till the main stage, the safety, efficacy, evidence of highlighted. And those will be utilized in market applications and regulatory dosages. So this is how we can build scientific evidence for further product. This is just an overview. When you go deeper into each and everything, there are things to be considered. But this is a broad overview of scientific evidence applied for herbal products. Now, this is just piece of information where you can access this information in my from the state, where I have developed this growth promotion to people who are working animals from our studies. We may need to convert the rat goes to my food, or wool goes to my rat goes like this, or that reduce the movement to be useful, and no I see the calculator for individual studies or biology that you need to know that what is the activity of this particular or every individual studies activity calculator like that. For individual studies or calculating the input sample size and CSV calculator. Okay, the CSV calculator